Today is Monday, the 22nd of September 2025, and it was only on the 8th of September 2025 that I'm just so tired of even having to say this disgusting, depraved stuff. But that was the day that a chopped up body was found in the front trunk of that Tesla, and it turned out that this person who had lost their life was a child. I don't know how investigations normally work. We've seen gangsters shoot it out. People get arrested the next day, the same day. People, in the case of the O Block 6 that killed FBG Duck, they were skating for goddamn near over a year, all right, before justice finally got caught up. But this situation is just so messed up, and everybody's just been asking the same question. Why hasn't David been arrested yet? Based on all the stuff that we've seen, based on all of these Discord chats, the early music, all of this gross stuff that we've seen, it's despicable stuff. I'm sick of even looking at it, to be honest with you, all right? It's just so disgusting. I'm actually just pained to even having to keep talking about this, okay? But everybody's been saying, why hasn't he been arrested, all right? And then we've covered other stuff, earlier on where people are saying this is why it takes time. They don't want to spoil the evidence, fruits of the poisonous tree. The cops need to get this right. But a lot of people were thinking, okay, maybe it was a weekend thing. Maybe they were getting through the evidence. It's Monday. Surely the arrest is going to happen, but it didn't happen. This was going around on Reddit this morning, and when I saw this, I actually thought, maybe today's the day. It said, David, are you ready to go to jail today? You are about to be arrested today. The cops are closing in. The psychopath in you would not allow you to make a statement while you're being investigated, but you will be singing like the demonic canary that you were as soon as them cops get a hold of you. I never thought you could sing. I can't stand that nasally singing voice. The strange singer is not a singer to me, and I don't do depressed music because I know it's satanic. You agents of death always want to spread your misery or love when others are in pain and in anguish. And you dummies, the masses, never know that rituals are being performed on you every single time you turn on their music or go to their concerts or watch their demonic music videos. All of it is rituals and occult magic. These people are devils, and my question is, are you ready to go to jail for the third part of your Freemason ritual to get you all the riches and all the eyes on you so you can gain the world and lose your soul? Your soul is gone. Now you're on your way to jail so you can perform the next part of your ritual because you chose Satan for your rise. Now, look, I don't believe in any of that demonic stuff. Okay, that's a load of garbage, but this guy is really twisted by the looks of it. By everything that I've seen, in my opinion, he seems like a twisted and sick individual. And seeing stuff like this go around, you can tell people are upset, people are tired. Forget all the weird satanic occult stuff in there. People are actually pissed off, they're tired, they're sick to their stomachs with what they've seen in this situation, and they're ready to see justice. And I feel the same, okay? I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not the police, but everything that I've seen is so twisted and so messed up. It seems like an inevitability that this guy will get arrested for this, okay? And there's been so many theories on why he hasn't been arrested. There's another one going around on Reddit that people have been posting. There's a reason he's not in custody yet. Everyone keeps asking why David hasn't been arrested yet because it seems obvious that at the very least he was having a romantic sexual relationship with a minor. But the reason police aren't rushing to arrest him yet isn't because they're incompetent or planning a cover-up. It's because the evidence currently available to us is considered circumstantial. Circumstantial cases sometimes fly in court, but David is rich and he will surely have a lawyer that could crush a weak case in seconds. They need to have a strong case built on physical evidence before David becomes anything more than a person of interest. DNA, computer files, fingerprints, and trace analysis. They've seized electronics from the home that he was renting where the Tesla was recovered before the impound yard and searched the premises for anything that could tie David to her murder. They're likely combing through hundreds, if not thousands, of messages and files. DNA, trace, and fingerprints have to process in a lab, which could take time. The coroners still haven't even released the cause of death, but apparently the autopsy is complete, as it says Celestes' remains are ready for release back to her family. This means that they're either holding out on making that public, like they could be with much more, or that her body was in such a state of decomposition that they really couldn't determine a cause of death, which makes a court case really difficult. Casey Anthony got away with murder in 2008 almost solely because they couldn't prove a cause of death, so a million different stories could get spun as to what really happened. These police know that this goes beyond taking him into initial custody. They're preparing for the inevitable murder trial that cannot afford to be a flimsy case. Rest easy, sweet Celeste. Absolutely heartbreaking to think her 15th birthday she was already gone, rotting in the trunk of a Tesla. She was only 14 when she died max. Remember her. Say her name. She was a person outside of her relationship with David with wants, fears, and dreams. All of that was taken from her. All my love to Celeste and anyone mourning her loss. Now, it's chilling to read that, because the idea that whoever did this might get away with it because of the way that the body was left is actually sickening. It's sickening. It's heartbreaking. And I can't even fathom how I'd feel if we don't end up seeing justice in this case. If it ends up that there's just no way and there's no proof. And it's a really good point that they make. You know, they need to prove a cause of death. They need to prove how this girl died. If you're going to bring murder charges against somebody, you know, look, I was about to say, oh, it's not illegal to have a body in your Tesla. It definitely is. But that doesn't necessarily prove murder. A lot of people are saying, oh, the car was stolen. Someone else did this. David got nothing to do with it. He was on tour. But based on all the things that we've seen, it looks like this girl was entangled in a relationship. And what was she doing out in Hollywood? Why was she in Hollywood? You know, what business does she have to do being in a car that was parked outside David's yard? So it is super twisted, and I think it makes it even more chilling that apparently, all right, David's just chilling at home. He's chilling at home playing Fortnite. He was still playing Fortnite today on September the 22nd. People are saying bro lost a match and just gave up. All right, he was playing all the way until September the 22nd, which is today. All right, no kills, score 21. I'm not even going to make... you know, he won a game and got 107 kills, all right? So clearly this guy's good at Fortnite, right? People saying, don't off yourself, David. You need to face the law. 0 kills? Seriously? Are we sure he was even playing and not just online speaking to somebody? Bro, they find a dead miner in his car and he's just playing Fortnite. Dystopian. Now, even more connections to this girl have been surfacing, and it's just crazy to think that this guy's just chilling at home playing Fortnite right now. He's just chilling. People saying caught in 4K. People are saying that this is the Celeste. And this is a picture from Instagram of David out partying with her, right? People saying, Lord, this guy just didn't give a F, genuinely. And there's other ones going around of him when he was saying that he missed her, just more and more new things, saying, bored in Dublin, I miss my girlfriend. This was posted on July the 7th, 2024. Just twisted. And people saying, how the hell are you missing your 13-year-old girlfriend? And that's how old she would have been at that point in 2024. So obviously we covered this in the last video about, you know, the parents' role in this. This isn't a video about that, so I'm not even going to touch on that comment. But even more stuff has been coming out. Obviously, she was known for liking Hello Kitty, and people are saying his social media presence is wild. He was overly rocking the Hello Kitty stuff, man. It's twisted, all right? People saying who had the best outfit in 2016. He got the Hello Kitty pin, or is that a Hello Kitty mug that he's holding up? He got a Hello Kitty shirt on, all right? He's got the Hello Kitty blood-stained in the white shirt, blood-stained, all of this stuff about white flowers, white shirts with blood on them. Disgusting symbolism. You know, I don't want to explain exactly what that means, but yeah, blood on the purity of a white shirt is despicable. And then for you to put that on a Hello Kitty with her eyes blindfolded, super twisted. And having that as your display picture on TikTok is actually diabolical. That's him in another Hello Kitty fit. Labubu on deck. More Hello Kitty references. This one walking out from an explosion on Instagram. This is other stuff that he'd posted on TikTok. Currently unable to tell the difference between reality and what's in my head. All right. When I end up tripping over nothing again, but it's only because I never liked nobody like this before and the voices in my head be telling him stuff. This guy's twisted, man. Not saying I'm jealous or anything, but I hope whoever flirts with you other than me gets hit by multiple cars. All right. It's fucked. How life feels when you aren't dating a lying hoe and it's somebody, yes, yeah, they're so happy. All right, David reposted this. Guy's sick. This is Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. This guy's a killer. This guy's a serial killer from a fictional film. He says, when all the distractions fade away and you're just left with nothing but your own thoughts. He's saying he's going to kill somebody. He reposted this. When all the distractions fade away and you're just left with your own thoughts, you become Patrick Bateman, the serial killer from American Psycho. What's wrong with this man? Me realizing you won't go to heaven if you end your shit. All right? Talking about me realizing that I won't go to heaven if I end my life. Perhaps because you've done terrible things. Me when I start acting mentally ill after I told them I'm mentally ill. I'm losing my mind. All these weird things he reposted. Hey, maybe he was a fan of Chicago Drill. New year or final year? Stay tuned. There's a lot of... I'll keep it real with you. I don't want to get shadow banned, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to have to keep it real. There's a lot of speculation as to whether he is going to even make it to next year, whether he's even going to make it to those handcuffs that we're all waiting for him to be put in. And, you know, it's twisted. I don't wish that on anybody. We all want to see him face justice, but I think there's been things that have been posted that suggest he might be planning another way out. Me, if I see her talk to other dudes, this is a bunch of chopped up meat. Now that's fucking... You know, we know how the body was found. This is me if I see her talk with other dudes and it's a bunch of chopped up meat. That is twisted. Me watching her scream after I poured boiling water on her after she told the boy happy birthday because why you happy he made it another year is another reference to murder, man. Me watching her scream after I poured boiling water on her, that is twisted, right? Even as a joke. It's not a funny joke in this context. Because you told a boy happy birthday because why? Why are you happy? He made it another year? He's not dead? That's fucked up. And then when we're talking about this guy, Gus, that apparently got killed, we're still looking into that, is twisted. Me, because even the slightest things make me jealous. Me, after hearing about her past with other boys, I'm jealous and utterly disgusted by her actions. That's a nail gun pointed at a woman's head. This is another scene from American Psycho, a film about a serial killer. Right? And then this is another twisted post, all right? Was I too controlling? Did I just want to be respected? Was I too controlling, or did I just ask for reassurance? Or did I just care about you? Or was I just concerned for your safety? Or is it because I love too hard? Or were you just out late drunk? Or I didn't just want to see you hurt? Or I didn't want to get cheated on again? Just because I care about you doesn't make me controlling. Sounds like this was a controlling person. Her following went up by 1. Can we have a mature relationship where we don't have to worry about each other flirting with someone else, social media BS, or friends trying to sneak in my/your position? Can we grow together mentally, spiritually, religiously, emotionally, and physically? Let's show that this generation loyalty still exists. And someone's in the comment, can we have a mature relationship? Buddy, you're dating a preteen. And this is another one. POV, that drive home after straight up killing someone. David reposted. Psycho, man. Real American Psycho shit. All right. Me after hearing about her past with other boys. What past? Kindergarten? She was a kid, for F's sake. You won't go to heaven if you end your stuff. He's never going to see heaven in the first place. He's such a piece of scum. I love how he's such a dirtbag sociopath that he self-reports himself so many times. Wow. He sounds like an abuser for absolute sure. So people have been posting other TikToks that kind of track their relationship timeline, right? This was when he was in a good mood, when he's not freaking out saying that he's going to kill somebody like Patrick Bateman, right? Now it's, I love you. Good morning, handsome. My baby, I'm here for you. I miss you. I'm obsessed with you. How did you sleep? My world. I tattooed your name on my forehead. I can't stop falling for her. Yes, I will swallow an AirTag so you know my every move. I can't stop falling for her. As long as I'm with you, I got a smile on my face. And this is a screenshot from that music video where you've got a woman that looks a lot like the victim. There goes my Hello Kitty, I miss her. The softest soft launch of all time. That's talking about soft launching a relationship with his Hello Kitty phone cover. Weirdo. Absolute weirdo. This is we can't see who this is, but it's a woman stroking his face as baby. I miss her. Him with another Hello Kitty in front of his face. There goes my baby. Obsessed with the Hello Kitties. Bruh. Hello Kitty is for kids. Right? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to shame anyone for their interests. But if you're a grown man walking around with Hello Kitties, something wrong's going on. I'm sorry, but something wrong's going on. You rolling around with Hello Kitties, you might as well be rolling around in a van with some candy. All right? It's not cool. It's not funny. It's disgusting. And then he posted a conversation where somebody had said, if you're not going to introduce me to Billie Eilish, then why are we even together? And people think that might have been her. From what I can glean from David's TikTok, they seem to have been in a relationship since at least January 2024, with David's content on TikTok becoming a lot more romantic, soft launches as seen in the pics, and Hello Kitty iconography all over t-shirts, plushies, and phone cases. There seems to be some comment interactions on these posts that have replies missing. Now, here's a guy who says, I actually spent 6 hours documenting every TikTok to make a detailed timeline of this. I'll probably have it up tomorrow. I agree. I think they became official around that time. I actually think Celeste may have been dating someone else in 2023. David seems to allude to her finding someone else multiple times, and I couldn't find it very many interactions between them that year. And it would line up with the other girl who came out and said she dated him in 2023. Edit. So Gus allegedly died in 2020. I still think something happened in 2023 that caused a falling out. Edit. Someone in the other subset found the real Gus died in 2025, so I think he may have been the guy that David whined about Celeste moving on with. for 2023. I need to find that. So we already spoke about this theory of there being another Celeste in the previous video that I did on the topic. And this is just like another comparison. And obviously there was talk in that other video that I did about, you know, apparently the young Celeste was at an event where they wanted someone to tattoo her with a butterfly on the back of her neck. And then this is the other Celeste with the butterfly on the back of her neck. I don't know if that's more part of the cover-up, trying to make her look like. But I do believe that David actually murdered Celeste. But the girl in those streams was definitely Celeste H. You can see the differences in their appearances. Celeste RH has a small face with a short mid-face, big eyes, and a narrow nose. In contrast, Celeste H has a longer mid-face, thicker lips, and you can also tell that the girl in the stream is her because she's wearing the same glasses and the one in the bottom left photo that she was tagged in. And I know that y'all see that nose was matching with every single pic I displayed of Celeste H. Added an H to Celeste RH's name, and you should refer to either of these girls with RH or H in their last name so you know who I'm talking about. So people are saying that maybe it was the older Celeste in that live stream, but I don't know. That person's looking young. The girl from the stream where she's wearing a hoodie and hiding her face is definitely Hernandez. She's always covering her face while Herrera doesn't. Yup, and the way the girl acts is like a little kid, jumping out of his excitement after a joke about kids, and doesn't even look at David after saying it and then muted the stream. Then they get off, and he tells his mod to delete everything multiple times. It was not that other girl. Right? So David had another dark post on TikTok about chopping people up. All right? David reposted a TikTok last year of Meat getting chopped up with the text. Oh, that's the one we already saw. It says, me if I see her talking to other dudes. This guy was really leaving a whole breadcrumb trail of clues the whole time. Breadcrumb trail, more like a whole loaf. Yeah, it's fucked. All right, the whole bakery. Now, people have been asking, why would David leave the body in his own personal car? That's one thing that doesn't add up. So it says, me and my father were discussing about all that's happening, and as I dumped all of the digital footprint and evidence we had gathered, he kept saying, why would he take the risk of leaving the body behind in his own car? A car parked outside his own home. That's dumb. That's one of the main things bugging me about this case. Why go towards all these lengths, killing and dismembering her, just to shove her in his trunk and wait to get caught? It was bound to happen. It's common knowledge that bodies smell and cannot be contained, especially in the conditions that it was left in. My theory is that he ran out of time to finish the job, his schedule got too much, and he was hoping to deal with it whenever he could free himself for long enough. But then again, I don't know. Any other theories? He's probably just a narcissist who thought he would never get in trouble. He openly dated her, he stayed dating while she was missing, and he openly referenced her death in his songs and concerts, and dumbest of all, he killed her. This is not a regular person who thinks about the consequences of his actions. Also, David is around the age when certain mental illnesses can begin to seriously manifest. It happened to my friend's brother. He was perfectly normal, if not smarter than the average kid for adolescence, but he started becoming odd in his late teens. By his early 20s, he was barely living in reality anymore. If your theory isn't correct, the only other option I can think of is that he's dumb as F. He thought that him being on tour was a good enough alibi to stop him from even being a suspect. At least that's what it seemed like. Some people think that he's some criminal mastermind who wanted the body to be found when it was. In my opinion, he comes off as too much of a pussy to want that. He knows damn well he wouldn't last a day in jail. People saying that alibi nearly worked too. I don't think anybody thought it was him until they figured out who it was. I think he thought she was sufficiently disfigured to prevent being ID'd. I think she might have been in a freezer and needed to be moved. But the neighbor said the car was abandoned for 3 weeks before they reported it. That's 3 weeks of her decaying. Who knows how long it had been since she actually died. The whole case is insane. I'm so impatient for more information. I think since he was going on tour or was on tour, I think it's possible that when he was in the middle of his tour, he could have flew home and it happened while he came home for a bit. He didn't have much time to figure out what to do with the remains, and it's clear a lot of people close to him were aware of his relationship with a young girl. It's possible he was going to have someone move the car or body for him while he was doing shows elsewhere. I also saw something saying that he was hoping to be out of the country when she was found, considering he had shows coming up in other countries. Maybe he knew it was unavoidable and people were going to start looking for her since she stopped responding to all of her friends and siblings. Based on what I've seen, I just think he couldn't hide the fact that she randomly disappeared from his life, considering so many people knew about her. And his plan was to be in a different country before the body was found, and that's way easier to be on the run. All speculation, of course. I think that's a really interesting theory, to be honest with you. I think it's possible that this guy was trying to run. Maybe he was thinking, okay, when I'm on one of these European tour dates, I'm going to skate, and maybe the body will be found then. But the fact that the car was towed on her birthday, I think is a little bit too unusual. And honestly, while I'm doing all of this, I just had a little theory. I wonder if, look, he's at home, he's playing Fortnite. All right, he played one game today. It wouldn't surprise me if he was recording music at home, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me if he was at home crafting some dark, twisted album, and then maybe he dips out and leaves an album behind. I don't know. All right. So here's another theory. This says, you can't crush a Tesla due to the battery. So the idea of him tipping off the neighbors or the tow company would just be dumb as hell on his part. Honestly, I think he was going to keep her in the car and there as long as possible, and only said it was stolen once he realized it was towed because he obviously put the body there. Crazy how he panicked when his friend asked about the car and he said, I don't know, it was stolen, but it was sitting outside the house for 3 weeks and only moved once it was towed. He's an effing liar and stopped responding to the friend after he got legal help. I believe that he killed her, whether intentionally or unintentionally, dismembered her to remove the limbs with the identifiable tattoos, plus feed his fantasies, and was going to just let her decay. Because remember, she was only labeled as missing. If they found a body and couldn't identify her, they would have linked. They wouldn't have linked anyone to him or her family, but he fucked around and got the car towed, and the car is in his name. Once the headline "Body Found in Singer David's Car" hit the news, I'm sure her family came forward to identify her. I feel confident that this is how it happened, honestly, based on where the car was found, how they said she was super decomposed from the time in the heat, plus all of this info about her family, knowing about her dating him. It just seems like they didn't expect this to happen, and he could have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the neighbors. But here's the thing, bodies can still be identified by DNA, even by just skeletal remains. And then you have things like dental records, as long as the teeth remain. David seems like an intelligent guy, unless he's an abject moron. There's no way that he thought that she would be unidentified if any of the remains were ever found, regardless of their condition at the time of discovery. There's no way to just wait out the clock and have a body that can't be identified, unless we're talking about 20 years later, which is the point at which it becomes harder to get and identify DNA of skeletal remains. Eventually, she was going to be found in the car if she stayed there, and she'd be identified pretty easily. Since she was missing and affiliated with him, she'd be the first person they'd suspect what happened. People saying, as long as the Tesla's Sentry mode hadn't been disabled, police can find answers as to who, when, and what happened with regards to the car's movement over a long period of time. Even, maybe who opened the trunk or frunk. They have 10 to 12 Sentry cameras that activate as soon as someone approaches the car. Personally, and this is for sure a huge leap, I think that once on tour and far enough away for plausible deniability, someone completely unaware of the crime might have been asked to move the car to another location. However, due to Celeste's body being in the front trunk, they might have caught wind of the smell and noped the F out, abandoning the car pretty much immediately, which is why it was still so close to the residence. All complete speculation on my part, of course, but other than that, the only thing I can come up with is that the guy truly brought into his own hype and thought his status would somehow give him a slide and is an absolute narcissistic idiot. He was saying maybe someone David knows killed her and wanted to shift the blame on him with putting the body in his trunk, since the murderer knew he was in a relationship with this way too young girl. Now, I don't really buy that theory. I don't buy that theory because, bruh, this guy seemingly was in a relationship with a minor. He has all of the motive to do this, right? He's got songs about I might not make it and all of this kind of stuff about, they're gonna finish me and all this stuff, bruh. There's one person that really had a motive to do this, right? People saying the car was 2 streets away when it got towed, and I think that's a really interesting point that kind of goes with the theory that maybe he was trying to get someone to do his dirty work and move the car, and they smelt it, moved it a bit, and was like, nah, this is cooked. Says it was on the same road but 100 feet from the residence. I think they had a plan, but something went wrong and the car was left too close to where he was living for him to report it stolen before the tow company got their hands on it. Man, that's crazy. So, all right, trigger warning. I'm about to talk about a pretty heavy topic, but I'm going to just cover this in this video. I don't really care. I don't really worry too much about getting in trouble, but I don't condone this. I don't want David to take the coward's way out. I don't even want to say coward's way out, because some people, they're going through stuff, they're going through mental health, and they want to take an easier way out. And honestly, I actually don't want to disrespect people that have done that, because really that really just speaks to just how much people can go through it with their mental health. And I'll keep it real. I've dealt with depression. I've felt suicidal in my life too. So honestly, it's I don't want to belittle that. I don't want to say the coward's way out, but a lot of people believe that David might check himself out before the cops can get to him. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of do. I don't wish for that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I don't condone that happening. I don't want to see anyone taken before their time. But I think because of how heavy this is getting, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't want to face justice, because this is a really serious case. People are very angry all around the world. People aren't going to be rocking with that. When you get to touchdown at the county jail, they're not going to be rocking with your story, man. And protective custody might not even be enough. But a lot of people are speculating on whether or not David will check himself out once he realizes it's all over and the reality sets in. This guy seems like such a pussy, and I don't think he'll even make it to a courtroom. You can tell this dude thinks he's the main character. He probably thinks he's a genius. Super introspective and deep. He's too immature to realize he's just some stupid PDF with the mind of a 12-year-old. He wants to be like XXXTentacion so bad, yet his lyrics are super elementary and basic. The only thought process going into his lyrics is making shitty, mundane music about a 13-year-old child. A 10-year-old, I don't even know, can I say that? A 10-year-old artistic kid that has some creativity could do better. I'm saying this because all those characteristics just scream someone that wouldn't last a day in a jail cell. If he doesn't do it before, he will definitely do it once he's sitting in a protective custody cell with a 23-hour lockdown, stuck with his shitty little boy thoughts. I would honestly love to bet the house on it. If they put how much time he would last on a sports betting site, it would be hilarious. People saying, I really hope he doesn't. I want to see him arrested and convicted. People saying, I want that album. After this, he can end his stuff or get convicted, but he owes us the explanation that would have been hidden in that album. Release it, David. I'm not going to lie. I actually feel like he's probably recording music. I'm not going to lie. He's probably recording music. David, if you're watching this, put down that microphone, man, and come and face the music. But I could see that. I could actually see him being at home recording a final goodbye and then getting out of here, man. And it's twisted, it's dark, but at the end of the day, I'm not feeling this guy. He was saying, I think he might himself before ending up in cuffs. He's been at home playing Fortnite, the game he met her on. Dude's got to be going through it right now or just messed up in the head. He doesn't care at all. I truly think he's going to have SWAT at his door or something, and he's ready to go out easy, if you know what I mean. Even if he didn't do it, he still got with an underage girl. His career is shot if he's screwed no matter what. I don't know. He might be too full of himself and narcissistic to himself. At this point, I think he would have done it by now, but perhaps he's waiting out to see what becomes of all this. I think he might be recording music, honestly. I was thinking that at first, but looking at it, I doubt he's going to himself. I think he's enjoying the attention. It seems like he's enjoying the attention now. I don't know why. I don't know where you got that from. It'd be hard for me to imagine him enjoying the attention, but he might be trying to O.J. Simpson his way out of this, you know? He might really be somebody that actually believes like he's untouchable. I mean, for this situation to go down, it's not confirmed in a court of law that it happened that way, that he's responsible for this. But I could really imagine this guy thinking that he could get his way out of this. You know, he's been super slick with his lyrics. He's been super slick with all the little social media posts that he's done. And he might be thinking, I'm a weasel my way out of this and get back to recording music and be a dangerous, mythical artist with this crazy backstory. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I thought we would have seen an arrest today. Honestly, I actually thought Monday we would be seeing an arrest. Could be happening later this week. We're all waiting, we're all watching, and we're all trying to get to the bottom of it. But rest in peace, Celeste, man. I think this is just so sad. And we really want to see justice. So hopefully David doesn't leave before that can happen. Or at least if he's going to clear his name before he can do that. But I feel like that's just so unlikely based on everything that we've seen. But as always, I'll keep you guys updated. We're waiting for this update. We're waiting for an arrest or something similar. It's to finally get a resolution to this, but it's super sad. This is the last video I'm going to do on this today, and I'll keep you guys updated if anything else happens. I'll log on tomorrow morning. I'll see if there's any updates, and I'll keep you guys informed. Appreciate it.